Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so very shiny, sunny, chocolatey, melodious, and adorable. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing today?
I'm over the moon talking with you. You're so proficient
Wow.
in English.
I wish I could, but I'm trying to be. Let's see how much time it will take me to be a impeccable or proficient speaker. But thanks for your concern. And moreover, we have already talked with each other plenty of time, so we don't need to talk about introduction and all. Just skip that part. Directly come to the point. And the point is, I just want to know from your side, what do you mean by communication and how is it different from spoken English? That's what I want to know from your side.
Thank you for your question, first of all. And the other thing I can say, it's if I tell you about communication, so it has nothing to do with the language, English, Hindi, or any other languages. Okay, spoken English different aspect, and communication different aspect to my mind, as I think. Communication means how clearly we are saying things, we are conveying our thoughts to other person, and the other person also understand us in the same context with the clarity. Okay, sometimes this also kind of mess occurs, like the person is misunderstanding us. Okay, there is some like kind of confusion, person is in a fix. Okay, so to my mind, communication is all about how clearly, with the politeness should be there, kind of etiquettes we can say. And yeah, how clearly there should be a kind of precision, and the accuracy should be there. It's not about, and as I mentioned you earlier, it has nothing to do with the language, whether it's English, Hindi, or any other languages. So yeah, communication is a different aspect to my mind, how we can communicate with people. See, communication, we can also do the gestures, like I need water, so I can say like with this. Okay, and there are many like gestures, like body language gestures, so that we can indicate the things which we need to other person. Okay, so this is a different scenario for my mind, meaning I think this kind of things, I have this kind of consideration, like when I like do the these kind of gestures with, let's say, with my son, so he can understand. Okay, this is also called communication, because I'm like conversing with my son with some like body movements, head movements, like with I'm like I'm just staring at him. Okay, something he's doing and I don't really appreciate that, so I'm just staring at him. O- I think you are understanding, you are getting my point. Okay, I'm staring at him, gazing at him, and he's
Yes,
like,
yeah, I'm
okay,
getting.
my mother is not liking this, my mother is not liking this, so I don't have to do this, I need to stop this whatever I'm doing, like with this. So this is also called communication, like non-verbal communication. Okay, and yeah, as I told you, spoken English, it's quite different. Okay, to have a very good command, it's not about in English language. In Hindi, again I would say, because in Hindi I'm also not very good, very like proficient in Hindi, which is my mother tongue. Sometimes I go slipped of tongue. Sometimes I like, going blank, and getting slipped of tongue and fumbling. This also happens with me. Sometimes again reiterating things, harping on the same thing. This also happens. Okay, so as I told you, third time I'm reiterating that it has nothing to do with the language. Communication is a different aspect. Yeah.
Wow, that's really great. And the way you have expounded the whole concept of communication, it's really remarkable and phenomenal. Thanks for giving your insight about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, shall I ask you the next question, or you have something else to ask
No, you
me?
can ask next time. Like next point, I will be asking.
Okay, great. So, as if now we are very clear with the concept that English has nothing to do with communication. It has a separate room for itself, right? But the question arises in my mind now, if spoken English is not as equal a communication, so how one can become an effective and amazing communicator? What are the tips and tricks that you have in your pocket you can serve to beginners?
See, I can say I'm also a small fry because I am not really like eloquent speaker. Okay. But the thing is, like as far as I have understood the English language and the communication, how can we communicate with people with the confidence and the clarity should be there, the kind of accuracy should be there. Okay, so I think to my mind there should be first of all an eye contact when we have a video call and when we are meeting with a person in person. Okay, so there should be an eye contact. You should not appear like you are fumbling, you are shivering out of fear, you are like so much you are a shyful person. So this also should not appear with your personality. And the other thing I can say, to use the word in a very right way, authentic way. Whatever words you are using and choosing to say, it should be in a right way and it's quite polite. Okay, and if I tell you about the fluency, so beforehand that we need to work on the command. It's not about English, I'm saying in all languages. Okay, it's about how we can say things, how we can convey our thoughts. Basically the command is a nascent stage. Once the person is having the command, then he can think of getting a good fluency, grabbing a good fluency. Okay, it's about having a hold command over English language. So I can say to become a very good communicator, we need to make and a connection, make a connection with the other person. Let's say to the audience, if I have to, let's say hypothetically I am to say something to the audience. There are so many people, like 20 30 people in front of me. So I need to make an interaction, a connection with them with a smiling face and becoming so much natural. It should not appear like so much fable, fictitious, or I'm quite trembling. No, it should not be like this way. Like there should be a kind of connection, and the body gesture also matters here. And yeah, the first and the foremost thing is that how we are saying things, how words, which kind of words we are using, basically, and should be quite, I can say, simple and crude. We should not go go for like using some concrete words, because there are different kind of audience sitting in front of us. So we should speak like this way so that a small child also can connect to me. I'm saying things hypothetically. Okay, and if I need to reach out to those people, so I must use so simple language. It's not about using so much concrete and fancy words. No, it's about how clearly I'm saying, and it should be quite in a rhythm way. There should be a melody. The words I'm using and choosing to say, it should be quite filled with some goodness, greatness, and so that other person also feel a connection when I'm interacting with them. Yeah, this I can say, this is it from my side.
Wow, that's really great. You have nailed it. And
Thank
the way you have been answering to me against my questions, it seems to be that last night you got a dream that Shiv is about to ask this question. Let me prepare myself. So your answers are literally structured and well organized. I do appreciate for that. Moreover, another one question pop up in my mind.
you.
You have
Okay,
described what is communication. You have described the difference, tips and tricks. Now, what are the barriers of communications? And how can we overcome with those barriers?
thank you for your question. The thing is, see, we are the person, and I think to my mind we have made it so much kind of bugbear, baggage, to my mind. As I think I'm saying things, all whatever I have thought, and which like kind of my perspective. Okay, like if I think that okay, this is difficult task for me, so definitely it's going to be so much difficult for me, because I have already have a thought. I have a robust thought in my mind that okay, this is a very difficult task. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to achieve this goal. If I have set a goal for myself and earlier before, and that I'm thinking that this is quite difficult, it's a hard nut to crack, then I'm not going to achieve that. So for the first time, I can say for this line which you asked, that I need to embrace this language. If I tell you about English language, so I need to first of all embrace this. Okay, this is my language. I need to like this language. I need to love this language, make a connection with this. And if I tell you about the barriers, so barriers should be like if somebody is not having a partner, speaking partner, and the other thing, lacking the environment. Because there are many people they make these kind of lame excuses. But now, since we are living in this era, the mobile data and the internet, so effortless, we can get so much like information. It is quite accessible, right? So and the apps, we have so many apps, we can get enroll ourselves and just learn anything, not just about this English language. Okay, so I think this is not barrier, we are the person, we have made it as a barrier, as a baggage, burden, pressure, you can say anything, you can name them in any form. But the main thing is that I think we haven't set our mind in a right way. We are somewhere like so much perplexed, we are in a fix maybe, we don't know why we want this, why we want to learn this English language, why we want to have a good fluency. I think we don't know, we have some inhibition, I can say. And yeah, if the person now he's totally aware, okay, this is my barrier, this is my problem, like I feel like it's quite difficult for me, how can we like get rid of these kind of barriers? So to work on this, okay, just implement. And I, as I told in many videos, like this is a remedy. If you really want to speak English, then you have to speak, you have to open your mouth. Okay, so I think the more we speak, the better we become. So this we can utilize. Okay, and again and again we have to speak, like on every single day we can speak at least 1 to 2 hours. Just we have to like immerse ourselves with the environment. And if you don't have any partner, then make your like do your self talk, record your voice, and make your own environment. Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing points you have mentioned. It seems to be that you have done a course of communication, and now path of being a coach or communicator coach. That's good. Thank you, ma'am, for giving your answers. So here I'm done with my all questions. So if you have anything to ask, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I would definitely like to ask you one question, which is like, what is the like goal, like whatever you have done so far, like this much accuracy and fluency you have. So what you did earlier for this? What was your strategies? If you would like to share with us.
Sure, ma'am. I would more than happy to share the aspect of this language and the communication you are talking about. Well, see, I'm a normal human being, as like you and others as well. I'm not an alien that I have done something special. Moreover, I have been going through with the same problem. Maybe you have been going through with the same one. And everyone is just facing the same problem. As I shared with you in my previous video that I did my schooling from Hindi medium school. When I'm saying Hindi medium school, you can understand that if the one who is passed his schooling from Indian school and decided to learn English, how difficult it is for him to understand the language and to speak and then to try to connect with people just with the help of this language. I faced the same situation. I started from ground level, which means with zero. I wasn't able to speak English or single sentence. I wasn't able to introduce myself in English. But when I got a government job, there I met one of my mate and was speaking English so well, honestly. I asked him that how is it possible? Then he said, it's just because I've been speaking since English since my childhood. So I said, that's fine. And he studied in English medium school. And still he is talking to his parents or his friends in English only. So that's obvious for him. Then I asked you, is it possible for me that I can speak English? He said, yes, you can. And he suggested me one application. From there, I started my journey. And from there, I started learning. But I faced the same problem initially everyone faced in a normal way. Like I know, you know very well when you are speaking English, this language is new for you, and you are also new for this language. It takes some time to make a very deep connection with each other.
Yeah.
So when I was speaking, people used to laugh at me. They used to make fun of me. Most of them, just because of my different accent, they used to say me that pan kha ke thuk, no, pan thuk or tab bol. Like that kind of compliment I got from many people. Some people said, Shiv, you are from India, and just try to behave like an Indian. Don't try to behave like a native speaker of English because you are not. Don't speak in a fake accent. I said, wow, thank you, sir, for giving your valuable compliment and feedback. I'll keep this thing on my mind. And not that time, still, I made a video with someone, and when she uploaded that video in her own YouTube channel, the first comment was all about my way of speaking my accent. That was a very pathetic and weird comment I have come across ever, honestly. I
Okay.
replied to him, but after that he didn't reply me. That's the other thing. But most of the time, you know what? We are making a mistake. We are taking English as a subject, not language. And most of us are literally messed up with two things. We mix English and communication together.
Yeah.
These, as you shared earlier, rightly, like English is nothing to do with communication. What is communication? Communication is nothing when there are two people, the one who is sender, the another one is receiver. If a sender is sending any message to receiver and receiver is receiving the message in the same way as sent by sender, and he's giving feedback, he's giving response, that is communication, nothing else. There are two ways. All right. And people usually think if I'm not able to speak English, it means I'm not a communicator. Forget about English. Just
Yeah.
take your own native language, Hindi. You can communicate in Hindi as well. All the motivational speaker and public speaker, do all they speak in English only? No.
No.
They influence people by
Yeah.
speaking Hindi as well. It means communication is an art to connect yourself with your audience.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what exactly you are speaking, how you are speaking, from how educated, qualified, and proficient and experienced you are. Until and unless you don't know that how can you make a deep connection, a link between orator and audience, everything is nothing but more than a garbage, right? I faced the same situation. I made a lot of mistakes related to grammar. Still, I'm making because, as I shared, I didn't take English as a subject. I haven't learned grammar in my entire life. I don't know a single word of grammar. But I took English as a language. That simply means whatever thoughts, ideas, emotions, feelings I have in my mind, in my soul, in my heart, I should be in that position where I can express as I want. And that's why I'm practicing because I want to speak English as I can speak in my own native language, Hindi. You can understand that comfortness of your native language. I'll give you one topic and I'll ask you that you have to speak about this topic in your native language. I'm damn sure. Since morning till night, without stopping, without stucking, without fumbling, you can speak because you're born with that language. All right? But at the same time, I'll ask you that you have to speak about the same topic in English. Now look at yourself. What will happen? You will not get accurate word. You
Yeah.
would stuck with some sentence formation. You okay, fine. I can understand in order to maintain that flow, you would speak continuously. But most of the time you are not going to make a sense, right? Because we have one another fear of being judged by people just because of our stuckness and fumbleness. Oh, I took 3 seconds in order to think about appropriate word. Oh God, what the people think about me now? He would think like he pretend he's an English teacher and look at himself. He's himself is stucking a lot. We people are not thinking about ourselves. Rather, we are ready to think about others. What they will think, what he will think, what she will think. Honestly speaking, all are busy in their life with their family, their career, success, dreams, achievement. No one has time in this era in order to think about your flaws, your mistakes, your stuckness, formless. No, right? Even though some of them have time, but instantly they would judge. As soon as you are going to leave that place, everything, boom, right? So forget about all this thing. Second thing, I was striking a lot with some vocabs. Thoughts are in my mind. Honestly speaking, if you ask me, if you give me one topic, and if you ask me that you have to speak about this topic in native language, I can express as I can. I can't think so that anyone can like express in the same way. But when it comes to English, I used to think a lot. What shall I speak? I want to say अंधविश्वास, but I don't know the meaning of that अंधविश्वास. I want to say आपको भ्रम हो रहा है भ्रम. Now I in Hindi I know भ्रम, but later on I came to know that there are so many terminology for that भ्रम as well. You can say illusion, you can say delusion. In terms of psychology, it says hallucination, right? So that's that day I decided, okay, Shiv, I'm not sure whether you are going to learn this language or not, but at least you have to master vocabularies. From there, I started learning vocabularies. And you won't believe,
Sorry to
right now in my mind, I have more than 20,000 vocabs. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, this is what I was asking. That as far as I know you, like we have talked earlier 2 times. Okay, so I think you have a lot of words, concrete words now. So this is quite commendable, I can say. I really
I'm not
appreciate
sure.
that.
I'm not sure it is commendable or it could be a curse for me because I don't know why, but I'm being habituated to use these words. And when I'm talking to people, sometimes they are not understanding me. And they keep complaining, sir, we didn't understand what exactly you said just because of your that terminology. So these days, as soon as I started using this application, I stopped. I am halting myself to use these kind of lexicons, means vocabularies. Okay.
Words. Yeah.
So just because I want to make myself understandable to people to whom I'm talking, that's the first priority. Second thing, I love to use this because I want to retain these vocabularies for long term. And I'm honestly speaking, I've talked to one native speakers teacher from the United States. Her name was, I guess, Maria, I guess, yeah. She said one thing to me that, Shiv, if you will not use it, you are going to lose it. So better
Yeah.
than lose, try to use. Or,
Use.
and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
why I always try to use my vocabularies. And that could be only reason that I've been speaking this for last 3.5 years, and I've started around 2 years back in order to indulge myself into different vocabularies, and I still remember those vocabs. Only for beautiful, I can tell you more than 50 vocabs. For important, I can tell 15. For curiosity, I can tell 10. And depending on the vocab, I can tell 5 and 16 months. I remember, right? So uh, this is what I was saying. And third thing is, yeah, of course, this accent. Still, I have this problem. I know I'm trying to neutralize this accent, and I'm trying to speak like a normal human being. I mean to say in a normal Indian accent, but I don't know what shall I do. Honestly speaking, because if you'll come to my home and you'll talk to me in English, honestly speaking, I'll speak in the same way as I'm speaking right now. I don't even know any other accent. What is Indian? What is British? What is American? Because I haven't indulged myself into any accent. What I believe, I always try to emphasize on my correct pronunciation. So I hope you have observed me very carefully. Whenever I'm speaking, I always try to give proper time to every single word to pronounce it completely so that the person with whom I'm talking, he or she can understand me, right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all from my side.
Yeah. Really amazing. And I don't have words. Actually, words failing this time. I have no words what to say. Yeah. So I think the video is quite long, and it's quite around 24 minutes. Yeah. So can we wind up the session?
Yes, ma'am, why not? We can say call it a day.